Guys, when I say he's one of the best agency owners in the world, I truly mean that.
Bedros Koulian, Brandon Carter, Cole Gordon, Charlie Morgan, Jeremy Minor, Sam Ovens, some of the guys I used to look up to, obviously I still look up to still to this day, and they all became clients of mine.
These people that he just mentioned, they're multi-millionaires, and they trust him with YouTube ads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you're the go-to for YouTube ads. Would you agree to this, actually? This is a good point. Would you agree there's no such thing as a good niche or a good offer? Everything's bad, everything sucks, and you make it your best version that you possibly
Yeah,
can,
exactly.
right?
It's like, again, I didn't want to do it, but I just said, okay, I'm going to commit to this because this is what someone else told me to do who's way smarter than me, way farther ahead. So let me do it because they see something I don't, right? And so there isn't a perfect niche. It's the niche that you actually make work and stick to the longest that makes you the most success. I spent like just $3 million on that one book offer on just YouTube ads, right? And like that made eight-figure, multiple, like close to almost $20 million.
One
just
funnel.
one offer, one funnel, right? Just the book. Example, right? Like let's say one of my clients, Brandon Carter, right? He teaches people how to go from in-person training to online training. One of the best campaigns that we ever launched for him was a custom segment campaign, which basically just means we were targeting keywords of people physically typing in the words saying how to make money as a personal trainer, how to grow my personal training business, how to train clients
Targeting
online.
keywords.
Yeah, so guess what? Now, every single time his ad plays, it also gets played into a new audience because someone else uploaded a new video today that says how to get personal training clients online.
Yeah.
From some random Joe Schmo in some other country.
So before his video starts,
Before that guy's video starts, Brandon's ad goes first and says,
no way.
stop training people in person.
You've done 8 figures and stuff. What would you say to the people who are corporate professionals? They are, good jobs, 6-figure, multi-6-figure sometimes even. But they're sick and tired, man, of the golden shackles, the monthly tranquilizer that they keep getting called a paycheck. They want to start their own thing. And AI is here. What are some of the advice that you would like to give to the viewers listening to this if they are interested potentially in launching an AI agency?
Start going after your niche. You're already good at what you do, right? You just need to actually talk to people about it and then sell them a service. Like agencies are one of the easiest business models to start. There's no product. You don't have to create a product. You don't have to, invest a bunch of money. You just need to talk to people and sell them on a service. And I'm basically a middleman. Okay, cool. You want to run YouTube ads? Great. I'm going to show you the exact plan and process and strategy to get your ads profitable as quick as possible. And then I'm going to help you place those ads and you're going to make money. Great. I'm not employed by Google. I'm just using their platform to make you money. And then great, I get paid as a result. I'm a middleman. I don't have to start anything new. I didn't have any upfront capital. I started making money from day one, cash flow from day one, because I had no team, no overhead, no expenses.
Name any other business that you become profitable from your first client.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another podcast show. Today, I have a very close friend of mine, and also he was my neighbor at the same building we all used to live at. Plus, on top of that, we are part of the same masterminds. He is one of the best and biggest agency owners in the world, working with some of the biggest coaches, and he has some amazing clients. So, without further ado, welcome to the show, Brian.
Thanks for having me, Zarar. I appreciate you, bro.
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing, man. Glad to have you here in Medellin.
Absolutely, man. Well, tell us a little bit about your agency. What does it actually do?
Yeah, so my agency is Adspin.com. I started it almost 8 years ago now, crazy enough. And we primarily specialized in YouTube ads for the longevity of the agency. So that's how I got my start. It's still what clients come to me and find me for today. And basically we help scale coaching businesses from 7 to 8 figures using YouTube ads.
What kind of names have you worked with?
Yeah, so Bedros Koulian, Brandon Carter, Cole Gordon, Charlie Morgan, Jeremy Minor, Sam Ovens, like some of the guys I used to look up to, obviously I still look up to still to this day, and they all became clients of mine. So, wow. And a lot more. There's hundreds. If you go to adspin.com/results, you can see all of our case studies and testimonials.
Guys, when I say he's one of the best agency owners in the world, I truly mean that. These people that he just mentioned, they're multi-millionaires, and they trust him with YouTube ads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you're the go-to for YouTube ads.
Yeah, it's crazy actually, because I always used to tell myself I never wanted to be just the YouTube ads guy. And the reason why is because I felt like it was too niche. It was almost pigeonholing my potential. But then what's funny is, 7 years later, millions of dollars generated and obviously $100 million spent on YouTube ads for these people we just talked about. Yeah, it's given me the life I have today. So I owe all of my success to doubling down on that one niche.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially our clients or people who are watching this, a lot of times they're thinking like, what's the best niche? What's the best offer? Well, for you, you were like, you're going to do YouTube ads, even though that wasn't really the intention, but you just kind of like maybe accidentally? Like,
so here's how it happened, right? I actually joined, speaking of masterminds, I joined my first mastermind when I was working a full-time job for my former mentor, Dean Graziosi. And that's how I actually started learning YouTube ads. So I was getting paid at a job to basically spend his business's money to help him make more money. And then he paid for a coach to fly out to meet with me for a half a day. He taught me how to scale in a half a day. We went from spending basically $5K a month to $5K a day in the next 30 days.
Wow.
And then I was able to spend about $4 million for his businesses and brands over about 3 years on just—
So you worked for Dean?
Exactly. Yeah. I worked for him for 3 years full time as a W-2 employee. And
Did you have interaction with him or not really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Really?
When I first joined his team, it was me, it was Dean, it was Jeremy, who was the CRO at the time, Ryan, who was doing Facebook ads, and then Tanner, who was his nephew, but also his funnel designer. So that was the 5 of us on the marketing team. And I was with him every day for about a year and a half. And then once he partnered with Tony Robbins, mastermind.com, and all of that blew up, that's when we scaled like 100 employees. And then at that point, that's when I basically went on to start Adspin.com full time. So, but I started with him as a full-time employee, learned YouTube ads, getting paid to do the skill for his businesses. And then eventually I got to a point where I was making more money on the side with that skill that I eventually quit and went on and to build the agency full time.
So you kind of had like a direct relationship with Dean in regards to like his blow up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously Dean was
YouTube ads. I mean, YouTube is—
Dean was going to make it regardless of me, but I was in that vehicle at an important time where I got hired originally, funny enough, to learn Facebook ads because they had a 16-year-old who I was learning direct response marketing from named Ryan O'Donnell. And he actually lived at the Optima 2 as well. You might know of him. And he was mentoring me on Facebook ads, but then it got to a point where they're like, hey, we're kind of good with Facebook, but there's this other platform that I have friends telling me about, which is YouTube ads. And that was like Brendan Bouchard and like Evan Carmichael and all these guys. And so he's like, you should probably learn that. So I did, and I bought a course online. There was like one course online at the time. It was by Russell Brunson and Tom Breeze. And it was like $197. I spent $2,500. I spent $5,000, only made back $2,500 for his business. That's when he flew out the guy to help me scale. And that's when I learned everything. And then I spent all of my time and attention learning YouTube ads at his business. And then I did my own thing.
You know, I'm hearing a lot of masterminds, a lot of paid help.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Well, because when I was working for Dean Graziosi full time, he was always saying the same thing in passing, but also to his clients at workshops and his own masterminds. And he was saying, I owe all of my success to masterminds, being in the room with like-minded people, all sharing strategies to help each other grow. That's how I became, where he is today. And he would always say that. And I'm like, huh. And here I am, I was about 22 at the time. I was working for him, but I wanted to make more money. And I wanted to grow my income personally. And so when I would hear him say these things, I was like, well, okay, he's telling all his clients to do this. Here's what he did to make all his money. Why don't I go join a mastermind on my own dime, learn more skills so I can add more value to his business and I'll get paid more?
Smart.
Just made sense to me, right? So then I joined my first mastermind by buying a ticket, flying out to Toronto, which was my first time traveling outside the country. And so I was like a 2 birds with 1 stone, travel and join a mastermind. So I paid for a ticket for $2,500 in Toronto, Canada. It was a fitness business mastermind. Because remember, at that time, like I said earlier, I wasn't ready to go all in on being the YouTube ads guy. In fact, I didn't see it as like being my thing. So I went to a fitness business mastermind because at that time on my YouTube channel, if you go back on my YouTube channel, you see all my fitness videos documenting my weight gaining journey. And at that mastermind, I introduced myself. I say, hey, my name is Brian Moncada. I work for Dean Graziosi. If you see him on YouTube ads, that's me. I'm the one running those ads, yada, yada, yada. And then after I was done introducing myself in front of a room of 100 fitness coaches, the mentor, his name's Vince Demonte, he said, I'll tell you right now, dude, you got to cut the fitness stuff out. And I was like, what? He's like,
in front of everyone?
In front of everybody. When I just got done introducing myself, he's like,
wow.
He's like, we'll talk at lunch. And I was like, so I sat down really awkward. Confused. I don't know anybody. Everyone's like staring at me like, what the heck? So then at lunch, he comes over to me. He's like, Brian, let's talk. And then he pulls me aside and he's like, hey man, so what do you want to do? I was like, well, I'm kind of confused, Vince, because I flew out here to learn from you on how to build my fitness business because that's what I'm really passionate about. And you told me not to do that. And he's like, well, look, dude, do you want to keep selling like how to build bigger biceps when you're 35? And I was like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. I'm not thinking that far ahead. And he's like, what I'm saying is you have a skill that no one else does in this room. You run YouTube ads for one of the biggest guys in the space right now. That skill is what's making him money. And that skill is what's making you more money. That skill is what allowed you to come here. You're stepping over dollar bills to chase pennies. And so basically what he was getting me to see, even though I didn't want to hear it at the time, was, hey, dude, this is the opportunity for you. and this is the idea you should go all in on. And so that's when I made the decision to go all in on the YouTube ads niche, because even though I didn't want to, and I was really debating it for like a week or two, I realized I paid him $2,500. I also joined the mastermind. And so I was like, okay, it would be doing him a disservice and myself a disservice if I paid him this money and I didn't listen to what he was going to tell me, because he's a lot more successful than me. So I did that. And I basically took his advice. I got my first client that next week after joining the mastermind. That's how it started snowballing.
Wow. So, I want to touch on a point that you just made, which is basically, you know Chris Stapleton, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he did something very similar to me in front of everyone, right?
Really?
Yes, man. So he said something, he was so right. Basically, in front of everyone, he asked me, he's like, Zarar, so what's your win? And I was like, don't really have a big one, bro. And then he looked at me and he's like, Zarar, the reason why I picked on you is because I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And he saw that in me. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the guy who he also had the same kind of thing of like, Brian's such a sharp kid. He doesn't even know it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know that he's so smart.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what, and that's another point. The second point that I wanted to make was a lot of times we need mentors because they save us from ourselves. Brian, you were doing that skill set.
Yeah.
You didn't even think.
No.
And you know what? You're not alone. I was the same.
Yeah.
A lot of the clients that we work with,
yeah.
they're like high-end lawyers, doctors, chiropractors. And you know what niche they want to go into, for example? Hey, let's try e-commerce. For what? Why?
Yeah.
You're a lawyer.
Yeah.
Let's have a legal marketing agency. Like AI agency.
Yep.
You know this thing in and out.
Yeah.
Stop chasing the thing that you think is good, but
Yeah.
you need the mentorship. You need strong leadership for that. But here's the thing about you. You listened.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't listen.
Yeah.
They're just like, nah, I'm feeling. It's a feelings game.
Yeah.
But he saw that, dude, you're running ads for one of the biggest guys out there. You have the skill set. Clearly, you're better than most people. Just leverage it for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I didn't want to hear it at the time, but I listened to him, and 7 years later, here we are. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do all the things I have, like we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, if I didn't listen to him.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what year is this, by the way?
This was 2019, man. 2019.
Okay.
2020, end of 2018, almost 2019.
Yeah, we were running our agency too back then. That's when we first started as well.
Yeah, so like 7 years ago almost.
A long time ago, yeah. So you land your first client. What niche was that? Can you talk a little bit of the tactical things? Because a lot of the viewers here, right, they're like maybe listening in for like, oh, what's the perfect niche? Let me see what Brian's doing. Well, would you agree to this actually? This is a good point. Would you agree there's no such thing as a good niche or a good offer? Everything's bad. Everything sucks. And you make it your best version that you possibly
can, exactly. Right? It's like, again, I didn't want to do it, but I just said, okay, I'm going to commit to this because this is what someone else told me to do who's way smarter than me, way farther ahead. So let me do it because they see something I don't, right? And so there isn't a perfect niche. It's the niche that you actually make work and stick to the longest that makes you the most success. So how I got my first client, well, thankfully, I was already very experienced, but at that mastermind, it was obviously a fitness business mastermind. So one of my first clients was a guy named Lee Hayward. He has a big YouTube channel and he was doing YouTube organic consistently, but he never ran YouTube ads. And so I helped him basically take his existing offer, that was a fitness offer, and then put it on as an offer on YouTube ads to get more high ticket fitness clients. And so I didn't have any clue what I was doing, by the way. Like I didn't know how much to charge. I didn't know how to sell services. Like I was all new to this, right? Because I was so used to just getting paid as a W-2 employee. So I was charging like $1,000 a month when I first started, which is like nothing, right?
I feel like a part of you wasn't worth it to charge more?
I didn't know what to charge. I didn't know how much I could charge. I just had imposter syndrome as well. Cause I'm like, I don't know what this skill set's worth, right? Yeah. $1,000, that sounds good. Let's do that, right? And then I did, and they said yes. And then I was like, then I got a couple of those, and then I was just like, well, I'm doing so much work for such little money. And then like here I am, but I also was still working for Dean at that time too. So I didn't really care because I was like, well, if it doesn't work, I can still work for Dean, right? That was my like thinking at the time. Then I started increasing my prices to like $2K a month and $3K a month. But how I got my client was actually, again, it was the mastermind. Because I was the guy in the room who was the expert for YouTube ads, everybody in that room was already either running Facebook ads or they're already posting YouTube organic content. So when I'm the person in the room that's specifically known for YouTube ads, guess what? They're going to know me, they're going to like me, they're going to trust me because I'm the guy in the room who's trusted and vetted for that.
YouTube guy.
Exactly, right? So that's how I got my first clients. And then
even in the 8-figure boardroom, man, everyone's like, yep, Brian's the guy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, and again, that's the power of the niche, especially when you're first getting started, just being known for that specific thing. So it happened organically. It happened through word of mouth. It happened through masterminds. I never ran any ads. I did outreach though in the very beginning. I was sending what I call personalized Loom videos, PLVs. So I was doing personalized Loom outreach, and I was doing like 15 to 20 minute in-depth strategies for like big names like Frank Kern. Is how I landed Frank Kern as a client.
Frank Kern from a Loom video.
From a personalized Loom video, yeah, because he was a OG in the space. He was running Facebook ads. I saw his Facebook ads constantly, and I knew, I was like, if I could land Frank Kern as a client, that would open up a lot of doors for me. And so I just, did my deep web research, filmed the Loom video, saw his Facebook ad, showed him how to place it on YouTube ads immediately, copy and paste it basically, showed him how to set up the campaign, step by step, everything. And I said, I don't know if you're going to do this or not, but I would love to help you with this. If this is valuable, at least give me like a chance to do this for you for free. That's what I said. That was my offer, right? I didn't ask him for any money. He actually did reply, but before he hired me, he introduced me to a guy named Roland Frasier. Roland Frasier, I'm sure you know, is also like the founder of War Room, digital marketer, co-founder, really, really successful in mergers and acquisitions. He hired me.
War Room Tate's?
Not Tate, not Andrew Tate. Different War Room, digital marketer War Room.
Okay.
But he hired me. And then once I did a good job for Roland, that's when Frank gave me the opportunity. So I did a paid challenge for Frank Kern, and it did really well. And then Frank introduced me to like 12 different people.
Wow.
And that's what just kept snowballing, word of mouth referrals.
So you didn't even like run ads for yourself?
No ads until I hit like 200K a month, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was all word of mouth referrals and like masterminds.
That's the power, guys. We tell you guys all the time, you don't have to launch ads from day one.
Yeah.
You can literally just,
Yeah, you just got to be good at what you do. You got to be good at what you do. You got to be good at actually delivering the service, delivering a red carpet customer experience, and also getting case studies and testimonials. The reason why we were able to grow so well is because I knew when I asked for a case study and testimonial from someone, there's no reason they're not going to say yes. So I always wait until it's like a no-brainer to give me a beast testimonial. And once I get them on video, like a Cole Gordon, like a Sam Ovens, like a Roland Frasier, and I post that publicly, then it just goes crazy. You don't
even have to sell.
No.
Yeah.
Here's
they have to sell themselves to you.
Yeah, because everyone's buying their programs and they're the person saying, oh, this guy's the one that's helping me scale my program. I got to work with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you still get traffic from that?
Oh yeah. Most of the time, the people that work with us are still inbound. And when they signal in the applications, like, how'd you find out about Brian and Adspin.com? It's like Cole Gordon's boardroom or Charlie Morgan. Or, Carl Parnell. Like, it's just all other people's courses and stuff,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about like your unique mechanism, right? Because, man, everyone has a YouTube ads agency or whatever.
Yeah.
What differentiates you, right? Because in our space, everyone has an agency. The grandma has an agency.
Yeah.
But there are some agencies that are top of the line. Mm-hmm. What are your uniqueness? Why are you better than most people?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it goes back to a few things. The first one I would say is experience. I mean, I don't know many people that are good at YouTube ads enough to where they've spent over $100 million documented and proven. We've done it for all different types of niches and verticals within the coaching and course industry, which is also the second thing. We're specific to online education companies who sell courses, coaching, masterminds, info products.
What was the return on the 100 mil?
Well, so for example, our average client gets about a 3.4x ROAS. So over time, it's been about $340 million return for their businesses.
Think about that, guys. Spend $1, make back $3.4 at scale. Not
at scale, yeah.
At scale. That's a legal cash printing machine.
And again, it's like, well, when you have that experience, and also like when I was working for Dean Graziosi full time, I ran ads for him and for Tony Robbins and Russell Brunson when they did the mastermind.com launch. So like that also did 30 million plus in their businesses, right? So it's like just having that experience of big scale, big campaigns and big launches, like not many agency owners do. So when I can come in and I say, well, like, when I get on a sales call, for example, if I do, or whenever I'm talking to somebody, like there's just levels to the game, right? Like when I'm talking to you about marketing and funnels and strategy, it's just a different level of caliber, right? So that's the big one, is experience, level of spend. Number 3 is just also trust and likability, right? Like I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to lie to you. Like if I don't think I can help you, I'm going to tell you that. And if I do believe I can help you, I'm going to say, hey, here's what you can do. I'll also help you. And then you can choose whether to hire me or not. I'm not like forcing your hand. I'm not going to twist and hard sell you. So it's like, I think people just like me because I'm naturally someone who's going to give it to you straight.
Yeah.
So those 3 things. And then as far as like a unique selling proposition, I mean, we have a very specific process, but I think the biggest thing that separated us is our creative strategy. So most agency owners are just like glorified media buying agencies, right? They just run ads, they set up campaigns, they just launch. What I did very early on was I realized the bigger problem, like we can do all the best media buying in the world, but if they suck on camera or their video quality sucks or their audio sucks, the ads are not going to convert, right? So I had to solve those problems. So I actually built out a video editing team, built out a high SOP for filming and editing high quality video ads, writing the scripts for them, hiring copywriters, doing all those things to create the best ads possible to be able to actually get the results from cold traffic.
I want to touch on that because dude, your ads phenomenal. Like,
thanks, man.
Really, not only the ads, but you're right about the speaking stuff, right? Because actually, a lot of the people, a lot of my clients comment on how I can speak, and I tell them, I'm like, well, I learned from this guy, like truly, guys, I learned from him, of how he speaks, how he articulates. I'm curious, did you was there like a mastermind or a course for that, or did you just kind of like figure it out?
I think it was just word of mouth and repetition because I was proximity to Dean. I was around Dean for so long and man, Dean, when the camera's on, he just goes. Like, it's just like a subconscious, like it's just natural. And I also have 10 years of experience doing YouTube content for myself. So I was, filming videos before I was even the YouTube ads guy. I was
fitness
just
stuff.
Exactly. I was just talking to the camera naturally because I always saw myself being in the spotlight or doing something with the camera. So it was just repetition.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, there isn't any like thing that's like the one little tactic. It's just a 500 golden BBs instead of one silver bullet. Would you say that, or?
Yeah, man. I mean, the niche helped a lot. Being masterminds is what helped me grow the most, which is why I'm a super big proponent of masterminds. That's why I have my own mastermind as well.
How much have you spent overall?
To date, it's about $600,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're just in your brain. Straight in your brain.
Yeah. It's like, I remember I had my accountant do it like 2 years ago. It was like, at that time, it was like 348,000. And then since then, I've just like doubled it. So it's like, because it's like, it keeps working, right?
Keeps working.
You meet one person, you get one idea, you get one tactic or one strategy that changes everything.
And doesn't it compound? Like the skill set that you've learned 10 years ago, you added another skill set, it's not 1 + 1 = 2, it equals 11 now.
Yeah. And it's also just accountability too. But it's also accountability, but it's also fun because you're around other people that are also doing the same thing. You're all doing the same online business and have the same problems and struggles. And you also get to talk about those things with us that we can't talk about with our team, for example, because business owner to business owner,
Of course.
So that's why I keep doing it, and it just compounds, and it's an investment in yourself, and it gets you to travel the world too.
You brought up a really good point in regards to business owner, because a lot of people, when they're first starting, especially, you feel like you're all alone. You feel like you're, and if you think about one thing, what's the worst, if you commit a crime, what's the worst punishment you can have besides hanging? Solitary confinement.
Yeah, geez.
So isn't it the same thing?
Yeah.
Isn't it like the people who start off a business brand new? You're kind of shooting yourself in the foot if you're not part of other masterminds.
Yeah.
Just trying to save a couple bucks. Do that 20K, 50K, 100K, 200K. Isn't that the best investment? Forget real estate.
Yeah.
Crypto, none of that stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like the best investment you always make is in yourself. Even Warren Buffett says that, right? And here's a direct ROI for you. When I first joined, well, for example, I paid Cole Gordon to $48,000 when I first joined his mastermind. And I paid him because I needed to get better at sales, right? When I paid him, not only did I get better at sales, but he also leveraged my skill set, which was YouTube ads. And because I gave him value as a result of being a client of his, he had me speak at 8-figure boardroom. That one speaking gig still gets me clients to this day because now my course content is inside of his mastermind and his programs. So now everybody in his programs and ecosystem follows me because they know me for YouTube ads. But then you also compound that with Sam Ovens. I joined Sam Ovens' mastermind for 36 grand. This was 3 years ago. I was also the YouTube ads guy in that room. Sam Ovens is launching a new program called WeTube about YouTube ads, and email. Who does he have speak on YouTube ads? Me. And then I partner with him. That made me a lot of money. And then also that allowed me to invest in school. So it's like masterminds is what not only made me money, but also allowed me to meet all the people I have today that are my friends, like you, for example. So it's just like, yeah, man, it's just crazy how when if you cheap out on that, right? And you're staying stuck by yourself, you're gonna delay your time to success so much longer. Where you pay attention, you pay for speed. I learned that from Dean as well. He was always saying, pay for speed, pay for the shortcut. You can cut a check, you can solve a problem.
So true. So true. Wow. Well, tell us a little bit about your YouTube strategy.
Sure.
So like just a high level overview on like what does it take to have a winning ad?
Yeah, so it always goes back to the offer first and foremost. YouTube ads is a scaling platform. So typically what I like to see is people that are already scaling on Facebook profitably, and then they go to YouTube to diversify and add a second traffic channel to scale even further and faster. And the reason why is because YouTube's a consumer platform. People go there to be learning or to be entertained. And like B2B can work, but what I see work the best with YouTube ads specifically is B2C offers, specifically health, wellness, dating relationships, or make money online. Those three markets work the best because you're targeting consumers. And so if you have an offer that's already printing on Facebook and you just simply diversify onto YouTube, usually it works really well.
What's your definition of printing? Is it 100K a month, 50K?
Spending at least $1,000 a day.
Okay, got it.
At least if you're spending $1,000 a day,
you're getting a 3 to 4x ROAS at least.
Exactly. You have a proven offer, proven funnel, proven sales process, and you're probably running into scaling issues on Facebook already. A lot of people start running into scaling issues on Facebook, so then they're like, okay, they keep trying to brute force it. When I'm like, okay, you're trying to do it the hard way, I mean, you can just take what you already have and mimic it on YouTube. So how do you do that, right? The strategy is very simple. Obviously, YouTube's a video platform, right?
Right.
So you have to have a 2 to 3 minute ad. It's the most important piece. The framework I learned from Dean that I still use to this day is hook, story, close, right? So the first 30 seconds, you want to call out your ideal avatar. You want to address their biggest pain point, problem, or frustration. You want to ask them a question to keep them watching. Then you want to go into the story. Who are you? Why should they care? And why do you have credibility? In like 2 sentences or less, right? So for example, are you a business owner are you a business owner spending at least $1,000 a day on Facebook, but you're struggling to scale? If so, the answer is not scaling your Facebook ads. In fact, it's actually doing something completely different. Let me explain. My name is Brian Moncada. I'm the founder of Adspin.com. I've spent over $100 million on YouTube ads. I've helped Cole Gordon, Charlie Morgan, Brandon Carter, Bedros Koulian, Sam Ovens all profitably scale with YouTube ads. And here's the 3 things that I've learned after spending $100 million on YouTube ads for coaches and agency owners just like you. Number 1, your creative is the most, like you see, I'm going in
that was a great ad, guys.
So that's the story credibility. Then you go into the teaching.
Yeah.
You teach them the what, not the how. Problem number 1, solution number 1. Problem number 2, solution number 2. Problem number 3, solution number 3. That's the story. Give them the education, and then you move it into call to action. So for example, if you got value from this and you want to actually go deeper and actually solve this problem for yourself, click the link. It's a free video. There's no opt-in. You can watch it. You can apply if you're interested. You'll still get value no matter what. But again, what's the alternative? Trying to scale on Facebook and beating your head against the wall and trying to make it work, or doing the easy path, doing what other people are doing that you want to be too, right? Call to action again. So hook, story, close, 2 to 3 minutes. Film the video horizontally like this, right? Not selfie style, because you want to be on YouTube.
Like even on your
iPhone.
Yeah.
Most of my clients film on their iPhone, and it works. And I think it actually works better nowadays, especially in 2026, because AI. Because there's so many artificial, and it's like people want that authenticity. So if you're a guy, like for example, like yourself, who's teaching all these clients that are watching right now, they want to relate to you. They want to be able to be like, oh, he's just a normal guy, right? So that actually helps you to your advantage. And then YouTube gives you the option to cut it up to vertical and other stuff as well. So that's the creative. Most important thing, the script, the video, and the audio. Make sense?
Yeah.
And you're already probably doing that on Facebook, and probably people are watching that as well. So if you already have a good ad, great, cool. Try duplicating on YouTube.
Just take the same thing.
Take the same thing. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't.
Yeah.
And the reason why it usually doesn't is when I audit a new client's account, they usually run one ad. It's usually the one that's working on Facebook, but it's like 60 seconds. The problem is they're missing the story and the close. They got the hook down.
So
they've hooked them. They got the attention, but there's no story. Who are you? What have you done? Why should I care?
Like YouTube, people are there to watch long form videos.
Exactly.
So isn't it perfect, right? Yeah. So, okay, what are your thoughts? I'm sure you may be a little biased, right? But Facebook versus YouTube.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like what is like the cons and pros of each?
Well, Facebook's easier to start by far. Okay. The algorithm's a lot easier to get quick wins. It's easier to launch. You don't have to have a video. So like most of the time, if you're trying to run ads from the very beginning, I typically do tell people to start on Facebook. Yeah. They want to scale. I usually go to YouTube, especially for a B2C offer, because YouTube's a lot easier to scale, right? If you have one winning ad on YouTube, unlike Facebook, it can last you 3-4 years. We have clients that have worked with us.
3-4 years?
Yeah, dude. We have clients.
Facebook's like a month.
Exactly, especially with Andromeda, right? You have to keep refreshing your ads every single week almost. I have clients on my mastermind right now that are basically pumping out 10 to 20 new creatives every single week just to keep up with Andromeda. Where on YouTube, if you have one good video ad, the reason why it can last so long is because YouTube's a search engine, right? So the more people that upload content to YouTube around your topic or niche that you're targeting with your YouTube ad, the more new audiences see that ad, the more your YouTube ad continues to be evergreen. Does that make sense?
Touch on this a little bit more.
Yeah.
Are you talking about intent of the end user?
Yeah.
So yeah, how is that measured?
So for example, right, like let's say one of my clients, Brandon Carter, right?
The fitness guy, right?
Exactly. Yeah. He teaches people how to go from in-person training to online training, right? So one of the best campaigns that we ever launched for him was a custom segment campaign, which basically just means we were targeting keywords of people physically typing in the words saying how to make money as a personal trainer, how to grow my personal training business, how to train clients online.
Keywords.
Yeah, because they're already searching for them on Google and YouTube. So guess what? Now, every single time his ad plays, it also gets played into a new audience because someone else uploaded a new video today that says how to get personal training clients online.
Yeah.
From some random Joe Schmo in some other country.
So
probably.
before his video starts,
Before that guy's video starts, Brandon's ad goes first and says,
no way.
Stop training people in person.
This is hijacking.
Online, yeah, exactly. Like online training is trash. It's garbage. It sucks. Do online training instead. And then the person already had intent to watch that person's video, and then Brandon hijacks them.
And you can do the opposite too.
Yeah.
Right? If someone wants to do it in person, you can try to sell that.
Exactly. Exactly. 100%.
Interesting.
So that's why YouTube ads last longer, because again, the more videos that get uploaded to YouTube around those keywords, the more evergreen our ad becomes and lasts a lot longer.
How do you determine the keywords? Just use tools and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with AI, it's a lot easier. You can use ChatGPT, Grok. We used to have an in-depth process, but AI just made it way easier.
Really? Like ChatGPT? Just
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they already have all the data points, and it's connected to Google search volume as well. And Google has their own keyword availability tool inside the platform too that shows you the search volume per month. So it's actually pretty simple.
And then you just do those keywords. So is it easier to set up than Facebook or harder?
Facebook ads versus YouTube?
Yeah. Like
yeah, so I personally believe the Facebook ads manager is a lot harder.
Really?
I think Google's a lot easier personally. Maybe I'm just biased, obviously, but I think Google, again, like Facebook's easier to start, YouTube's easier to scale. So the best, but I always tell clients this as well. It's like the answer is not one or the other. The answer is always both.
Yeah.
The biggest brands and companies in this space that make it and have, you know, a business that lasts years, they have Facebook, they have YouTube, they have Google.
Correct. If one goes down, like Mark Zuckerberg doesn't run your business anymore, you know? It's
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
And that was our biggest selling point for a long time, was like, are all your eggs in the Facebook basket? Because I would always see clients coming to me after their ads get disapproved or after their ad account gets banned, and then their lead flow dries up, their sales team's threatening to quit.
Because there has to be a little bit of time frame, right? Typically, like generally speaking.
Exactly. So it's like the answer is always having Facebook, YouTube, Google, and your YouTube channel working for you as well. Because that's what Dean had. That's what I saw all these top guys have.
It's consistency bias, right?
Yeah.
Like think about it. If you follow everyone everywhere, they're like, man, they may not even like you, but guess what? They're like, this guy must be right.
And what I will say is YouTube ads, this is like, it's not like proven by data, but it's proven by third-party effect. Whenever we have clients that launch on YouTube ads, they always have this like almost 3-month instant celebrity effect where they just get recognized more in person, which also makes us look a lot better because YouTube ads, for some reason, like people just recognize you and remember you a lot more. And so like the brand grows organically because then they see you on YouTube, they search for you on Google, they subscribe to your YouTube channel. So it also grows your YouTube organic. So it's like, it's a lot more powerful at scale than Facebook sometimes.
Yeah. Talk to me about scale, right? Because you said, okay, about $1,000.
Yeah.
It's better if you're below that, just do Facebook.
Yeah.
When you say at scale, for example, like a biz op company, what does that look like? Is it like 50K a day, up to 50K a day, or is that like tough?
Well, I mean, it depends on the funnel, right? So like, for example, if you're selling a low ticket info product, you can do 50. I mean, that's what I was doing with Dean. I was spending 50K a day on YouTube ads for his free plus shipping book offer. And it was easy to do because there wasn't any sales team to worry about, right?
What were you guys making back day one?
I mean, our average CPA for a book was like about $25. Our average order value was about 30, 35. So so we're basically spending $25 to get a customer for a book, and then we're getting about $5 or $10 back upfront on that book buyer, right?
Wow.
But then when you subtract the actual, shipping costs and everything, that's about $5, $6.
What about ad costs?
That was 50K. So yeah, it cost us $25 for one book buyer.
So if you spend 50K, how much do you make back?
I mean, on a given day, probably like 75, 80 up front.
This is up front.
This is just new customers. Like
this is not up.
This is like 100. This is like 200, 300 new customers a day.
That's insane.
And then it's like, okay, then you think about the webinar on the back end, which converts about 25%. And then people call the webinar leads and opt-ins and registrations and buyers, and that sells them to the 25K, the 50K on the back end, right?
Do you think for Dean, it was like the face, like he was a pretty big guy, or at the time he wasn't that big? It was like a random guy.
I mean, Dean was always so recognizable because he was doing infomercials before.
Okay.
I will say when he started running ads on YouTube, like that's when everything started taking off as well, for sure. And I mean, dude, I spent like just $3 million on that one book offer on just YouTube ads, right? And like that made multiple, like close to almost $20 million.
One
just
funnel.
one offer, one funnel, right? Just the book, right?
It's still running, or it kind of dried up?
I think it's not running anymore. I mean, he's still selling it probably. I would be. It's a great book. It changed my life. But I don't know if he's still.
Is it the
Millionaire Success Habits?
Dude, I bought that maybe.
Yeah, I bought it too.
That was a good book.
Yeah, I bought it off a Facebook ad as well, and then yeah, man, that's when YouTube ads was still like in the infancy. So we capitalized on the right time, right platform, right offer, because again, going back to the whole principle of YouTube ads, it's a consumer-based platform. Millionaire Success Habits. Who doesn't want to be a millionaire, right? Who doesn't want to learn the habits of a millionaire? So his ads worked really well because it's like, dude, it's a free plus shipping book offer. You pay $7, just cover shipping and handling. We'll ship it out to you. It was a great offer. It was a very scalable offer. So again, when you're looking at Facebook and how to scale on YouTube, if you're already spending $1,000 a day on Facebook, chances are you can spend that much, if not more, on YouTube.
Just next day.
Yeah, literally. You just got to throw up the campaigns, throw up the ads.
Really?
Yeah. But the problem that keeps people most from doing it is, number one, the fear of like, well, it's working, so let me just keep doing it on Facebook.
They don't realize.
They don't realize it's a ticking time bomb until you have this platform that goes down. Or they're just like, well, I don't have anybody on my team that can do it. I don't want to learn it myself, which is why I should just hire an agency, which is obviously how we make our money. But it's not that hard. Like media buying is 20% of it. The majority of it you've already done. Offer, creative.
So true. So what are some of the soft stats and the hard stats that you actually track? Of course, at the end of the day, it's dollar and dollar.
Yeah.
But what's like one step before? And is it like, should you have a baseline from Facebook, or did none of that stuff matters?
Yeah. So
because CPMs are different, everything's different probably.
It's different, but it's the same tracking. I mean, for example, like our tracking sheet that we use has YouTube and Facebook on it, but we always read data from right to left. So obviously, cash in, cash out, revenue, ROAS. But then also if there's no revenue in ROAS, okay, number of calls, cost per qualified call.
Yeah.
If there's no calls, cost per lead, number of leads, right? So we always read from right to left. But again, on YouTube, depending on the industry, we're looking for calls from about 100 to 450, depending on the business, right? Yeah. For example, if you're doing B2B like me, you're going to spend about
600.
Yeah, $600 for a cost per qualified call with a business owner making, 7 figures on YouTube.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, exactly, right? And if I'm selling a 15K offer, I just need 10 calls. Boom, it makes itself worth it. I spend about, $6,000 on 10 calls. I close 2, great. But if you're B2C, yeah, you can, we have a client right now named Shelly. She's in the UK market. She lives in Dubai. She's teaching women how to become high ticket closers, women specifically.
What's her name?
Shelly Young.
I thought he was going to Shelby Saps.
She's different than Shelby Sapp, because I think Shelby Sapp, I don't know personally, but I think she probably attracts more of like the more masculine women, it seems.
Yeah.
Whereas Shelly Young took the opposite effect, and she's leaning into your feminine energy. Exactly. And that's why it's working really well. And so we're spending about, in total, like almost, like $1,000 a day, and which is not a lot right now. But when she first started with us, she was like 40K a month. Now she's doing close to 200K months.
Nice.
Right. And her business has changed dramatically, but also she's getting calls for like $50, dude, $60, B2C market. And her offers like
quality like.
Well, I mean, it's B2C, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be iffy, but her program's 3,800. Her show rate's the biggest thing we're trying to get improved right now. We implemented sales kick and things like that.
Oh yeah, you guys just
yeah, because her show rate was like 25%. It was like really bad, but she was still printing.
So is it typically, I would assume Facebook has worse traffic, or it just really depends?
I think it's subjective, dude. Yeah. Like every platform can be hit or miss depending on the week. Like for example, with I'll go back to Shelly as an example, because she's new to pay ads. So like she's doing this for the very first time, which is great because we're teaching her as we go. And so for example, she's like, why is it that lead quality is so good like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden 1 week there's just like way more
to the game.
Yeah, way more no-shows. People that just don't even know us and don't even know what high ticket sales is are looking for jobs. And I'm like, look, I can't, like, we didn't change anything in the campaigns, but what happens is the algorithm and the auction is what's showing you to new audiences. And sometimes Facebook just gives you, or YouTube just gives you just a pile of dog crap.
And we just had Super Bowl happen, right?
Yeah.
These companies are spending so much probably.
Yeah, exactly. So it's seasonality as well.
We also saw that. I'm curious what your thoughts are for BizOp. What should be a good cost per qualified? Or sorry, not cost per qualified, percentage of qualified applications or calls.
Yeah, I mean, for BizOps specifically, like I would kind of depend, but I mean, in terms of like out of 10 calls, how many of them should be qualified?
Yeah. Like, what would you say is your success rate? Like, in regards to like, what would you consider a success?
Well, you would want to aim for at least half, right? Obviously, at minimum. But a lot of people lie too. Like a lot of qualified calls actually fake their application, and that's why you have a setter calling them immediately.
But also, we have sales kick, so that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
So ours, man, is 30%.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's anywhere from like high 20s, so like 28 to like 33%. I've seen for the past like 2 years. It's been pretty consistent on like the cost per qualified.
And that was before or after sales kick?
This is after sales kick.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. Yeah. I'm interested to see what it's going to be like after sales kick because I hear good things about it. But I think 30% makes sense. Again, like if you get 10 calls booked and 3 of them are actually signaling they do have the funds, they will show up on time, they are serious, and you get them on a call and they actually do show up, like, yeah. For sure.
What are some show rates for BizOp right now?
Well, again, Shelly's was like around, I think we're at 40 now. We're trying to get up to at least 50 or 60 clearly. But for B2C show rates on BizOp specifically, yeah, like 40% seems to be kind of the industry standard.
We're right around that.
Yeah. And
like 35 to 45%.
I used to push. I'm like, always, it's like, you got to get to 60, got to get to 70. But I'm like, I just don't know if like that's realistic anymore.
And like in 2020, I think it was the Google update. You probably heard.
Yeah,
of it, right?
that as
like
well.
Overnight, we went from 65.
Yeah. Yeah, that I think people are just, I also think the economy like clearly is like, it's also outside things that we can't control. For example, the stock market's down, gold's down, silver's down, Bitcoin's down.
Well, why do people book in a call then?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, right? Like,
because they feel like they're making progress.
Yeah, sure, exactly. So yeah, getting them to show up is a whole different thing. Like you can get leads, but like getting them to show up is a whole different thing.
I think setters have a huge part.
Setters have a huge part. The nurturing sequences have a huge part. The content has a huge part. And also it's just your messaging too. Like for example, what I was explaining to Shelly was like, look, when we first start any campaign, this also goes back to your question earlier about the strategy. Whenever we launch a new client on YouTube, if they're already running ads on Facebook, we never go cold first. And the reason why is because 90% of our budget, or at least 80%, I should say, is always spent to warm audiences, remarketing, and like low-hanging fruit. Because we want to get quick wins. We want to collect cash fast. We want to train the conversion action to actually be going after who we want, right? And so with Shelly, we did that. We went after YouTube audiences, people that were already searching for her on Instagram. We went all for low-hanging fruit. We got them. As we started spending more to get to 1K a day, we started running into more lead quality issues. And she'd be like, why? These people don't know me. I don't know what's happening. And I'm like, no, it's because the more you scale to broader demographics, the less people are actually aware of a problem they already have. They're more unaware of a problem, or they don't even know they have a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, they're just like, well, I know I want to make more money, but I don't know what high ticket sales is.
Yeah.
And so it's like, now we have to educate them
and
in
that
the ads.
costs money.
Exactly.
That's tough.
In the ads, in the VSL, in the emails, in the content. So we're having to create all these trust assets.
Do you typically always educate in the ad or not really?
Yeah, we usually always do because again, YouTube's an education platform, right?
Yeah.
So for example, with Shelly, like a lot of her ads are like, starting very broad. If you're a woman who's working corporate as a corporate professional, but you're feeling drained by your 9-to-5 job and you want to experience the life that you see on Instagram from other women you follow, right? You're not sure how to make money though. I want to show you what I did. And so she explains high ticket sales, what it is. And then in the VSL, she explains how it works, right? And how there's course creators and coaching businesses that would hire you to close deals from your home, right? So we explain that in the emails, in the VSL. And then also by the time they get on the sales call, they're usually already pretty warmed up.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, what would you say? I mean, you've done 8 figures and stuff. What would you say to the people who are corporate professionals? They are, good jobs, 6-figure, multi-6-figure sometimes even. But they're sick and tired, man, of the golden shackles, the monthly tranquilizer that they keep getting called a paycheck. Mm-hmm. They want to start their own thing. Mm-hmm. And AI is here. Yeah. So many options, but in some ways, less options. So if that makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a weird, confusing time. Mm-hmm. What are some of the words, or what are some of the advice that you would like to give to the viewers listening to this if they are interested potentially in launching an AI agency?
Well, so for example, right, like what's the alternative, right? We all know AI is going to take most of the jobs anyways. If you don't start now, you're going to become obsolete in the future, probably most likely anyways. I think the biggest skill set you have right now is if you do have the risk-taking ability and you just realize that, okay, it's a risk either way. right? Like Jim Rohn says, it's all risky, right? Not investing.
You're not going to make it out alive.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one's going to live either way.
Yeah.
So what's the alternative? You stay in the job, you keep hating your life, you keep making the same money, you get replaced by AI anyways. Or you take the risk, you start your own AI agency, you build a personal brand, you start getting clients, you learn through trial and error or getting around guys like yourself that teach you and have the programs and the knowledge and the expertise. And then like you look back and you think, okay, I could do it. So like, I think it's actually risky to stay in the job. I think because like for me, if I didn't take that risk and I was still working for, you know, for Dean, like again, I'd probably still be making good money, but I know internally I wouldn't be happy because I was always meant for more. I was always going to be an entrepreneur, right? So internally I would be like depressed, right? So I think that's the worst option because I'd rather take the risk and make my fate in my control and control what I can control than just like avoid it and just keep like numbing myself with other things like alcohol or drugs or all these things, which a lot of people do, even though they're making good money as these corporate professionals. So I think actually you just need to leverage the tools in front of you like Claude, like AI, like Grok, like all these tools, and then start going after your niche. You're already good at what you do, right? You just need to actually talk to people about it and then sell them a service. Like agencies are one of the easiest business models to start.
So
there's no product. You don't have to create a product. You don't have to, you know, invest a bunch of money. You just need to talk to people and sell them on a service. And I'm basically a middleman. Okay, cool. You want to run YouTube ads? Great. I'm going to show you the exact plan and process and strategy to get your ads profitable as quick as possible. And then I'm going to help you place those ads and then you're going to make money. Great. I'm not employed by Google. I'm just using their platform to make you money. And then great, I get paid as a result. I'm a middleman. I don't have to start anything new. I didn't have any upfront capital. I started making money from day one, cash flow from day one, because I had no team, no overhead, no expenses. So yeah, I was getting paid $1,000 a month and I didn't know what I was doing. I went from $1,000 a month to $2,000 a month.
Even at $1,000 a month, you were still making profit, right?
Exactly.
Name any other business that you become profitable from your first client.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I remember I was having a conversation with one of my team members previously and I was like, we were talking about like the clients that were on legacy discounts. Like this client's only paying us $3,000 a month. And I'm like, well, at that time I was like, well, that's my rent. So like, let's just obviously keep that, you know, it's like whatever. So like, that is the best part about having an agency. And today, especially as a business owner, as an AI agency owner, you can have an AI agent or AI agents do all the service delivery for you and automation. So that way you can have a one-person agency that does realistically $100K a month recurring profit. Like what other business can you do that in?
So fast.
Yeah. It's not going to be easy, but again, you're doing what's already easy right now. Why don't you try something that's actually risky and then you actually take the risk to get the reward? Like that's the reality.
And also like right now, everyone's adopting AI. It's literally the new gold rush.
Yeah.
It's the new crypto. It's the market cap of AI is already way bigger than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And every year it's only growing, you know? And also, you know, I'm hearing some talk about potential universal basic income.
Yes.
You know, that's scary to me.
Scary, yeah.
Imagine you can never become rich ever again.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, when AI just replaces you, what are you going to do? Sit at home, watch Netflix? I can't do that.
Yeah, no.
You know,
you got to create, you got to do something.
You got to do something now.
Yeah.
And this is not false scarcity. This is like just real of what's going on. Even I'm afraid at night. I'm an AI agency owner. I'm like, man, I might get replaced by my own invention.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You got to be, if you're not seeing this, you're just ignoring reality.
Yeah.
And you're trying to act like it's not going to happen. Well, it's happening, and more companies are adopting it and replacing people every single day. Like the number of jobs, I think it was a report just came out recently. I think it was the jobs report recently. It's actually worse numbers than people thought it was, which means more and more people are looking for jobs and they can't afford it. Like there was an Indeed.
Dude, there's no job openings anymore.
Exactly. There was an Indeed post I saw on Twitter the other day. It was like over 1,000 people were applying for a $50K a year accountant job because like the job market sucks so bad right now.
Imagine you working 7-8 years, going to college, right? Like for your education, and you are maybe an IT professional. You're making six figures, even multi six figures, and then you realize like, I don't have any job openings because those guys. Typically, what happens? I remember my dad used to always tell me. My dad had a corporate career, Verizon. You know, he Boeing, all these big companies. He used to tell me that the people making the most are typically the first ones to go. He was telling me, oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
I'm the first one to go. And they started firing people, and they would just ship off the jobs to India.
Yep.
But now they're even like letting those guys go, and they're just
yes.
So it's like, imagine the corporate professionals watching this. It's your whole identity. Like what is at stake for you? It's not only money.
Yeah.
It's your identity. You were known as the IT professional.
Yeah.
What are you gonna drive Uber?
Yeah.
Until 2 more years, and then Uber's replaced by self-driving cars. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. Just look at it from a business owner standpoint. Obviously, we can talk about this too, because it's like when you look at your P&L every single month, usually what's the highest expense? team.
Yeah.
Right. Overhead, people. And so if you can find an AI agent that works 24/7, that costs you 1/15 of that salary's employee, you're probably going to be a better business owner if you just make that decision. And that's just business, right? So look at all these companies. They're going to do that, obviously, and they're already doing it. So yeah, I don't know what the alternative is. It's like, just keep waiting it out and hope for the best. Of course not. Like, take the risk. It's all risky. And like, dude, you might as well try it. Otherwise, you're going to die wishing you like you at least did it. Yeah. Wishing you tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regret.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Brian, thank you very much, man, for coming to the podcast. Where can people find you?
YouTube, Brian Moncada. Just search me on YouTube. You can find all my videos. There's YouTube ads content, all content about how I've built my agency as well. If you want to learn more about me, YouTube, Brian Moncada.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Cheers, bro.